That was quite a lame clap. How much better? Welcome to the Rowdy.com Big Three. We're talking Bristol.
Bless us all.
Bless us all with former Cup driver Rick Mast. I'm Bass Masters. And this racetrack is certainly unique, Rick. I mean, talk to me a little bit about your encounter with this racetrack for the first time and what you've learned about it over the years.
First time I went there, I'd never seen a place like it. I'd never been to a super speedway or anything, just local dirt tracks and a few little asphalt tracks. We go there, and I'm for the first time, and you look down over there. When you get there, the way it used to be, you enter the track off turn 2, and you get there at the gate, and you look down, way down at the bottom, like, ooh, you know. So anyhow, we go in, unload, do all our stuff, and guys are out there warming up, and I'm watching these guys going down the straightaway, and they're doing in the turn. They're getting out of the gas, and they're going around and coming. I'm like, well, it works evidently. So I went up on the apron warming up my car, and I run about probably 700-800 warm-up laps.
On the apron.
Yeah. It was funny. I remember running on the apron the first time, and I heard a racket, and I looked out my windshield way up higher, and there went a car by. And it was actually the 8 car, Earnhardt. You know, that was in 77 or 78.
Man, okay.
But anyhow, you know, I finally, after my 700 or 800 laps of warm-ups, you know, I finally came off turn 4 and got in the racing groove and got in the thing wide open. And I remember going into the turn and getting slammed and turning the wheel and getting out of the gas. I remember getting back in the gas. The next thing I know, I'm half or 3/4 of the way down the back straightaway. That was my next thought.
Kind of like, how'd I get here?
Yeah, like, how'd I get here? And I'm like, oh, that worked. You know what I mean? So then you spend all your time really, you know. From that moment on, I never had a problem with any high bank racetrack. I mean, from there we started going to, you know, to Charlotte and all those places. Never had a problem with speed or high banks after that one moment. You know, I said, oh, okay, this is how it works. And the thing that's so unique about Bristol, you know, you hear this in football a lot. The quarterback and the guys coming out of college, the pace is so fast.
Right.
These guys, when they get good, you hear it all the time. These guys slow things down, especially the quarterback.
Right.
That's inexperienced. He learns to slow everything down. You know, that's what you got to do at Bristol. You go to Bristol, you unload. You go out on the racetrack the first time, and I mean, I've seen the best drivers I've ever raced against do the same thing, because I did it too. You go out, you'd run 2 or 3 hard laps. The very first time you come in, a lot of times, finally, the crew chiefs that knew and been around a while, they wouldn't even go to the winning net. They wouldn't even talk to you on the radio. Most times they say, you got any problems? No. And you just sit there, because what you're doing, say you went out and run 3 laps. When you come in the pits to stop, cut the motor off, your mind is now about on the first lap and a half. So
your brain's catching up to your body.
Your brain's catching up to what you just did. And you'll sit there and you'll think till you get all 3 laps running in your head, and you think about it a little bit, then you'll go back out, okay? When you go out the second time, you run 3 laps or 4 laps. Come in, by this point, you're just about 100% with you. By the time you got the third time, you're on cue.
I
It
see.
usually takes 2.
So everything happens a lot faster
Yeah,
here.
so much faster. And of course, what you're trying to do as a driver is break the track down. You enter the turn, you know, getting to the apex, through the center. When you first get in the gas, halfway through the apex and exiting the turn, then exiting the turn, you break all these down in your mind, exactly what the car's feeling like, you know, what you need to relay to the crew chief. Then you go down the straightaway and do the same thing in the next turn. And Bristol's just one of those places you've got, as a driver, mentally, you've got to slow everything down so you can absorb what's going on to relay. I've seen the best driver. I've seen everybody. I've seen every driver over the years do this same thing. You know what I mean? Just come in, go a couple laps, come in and sit down, just leave me alone a minute. You know, let me get my thoughts together, you know, then go back out.
Now talk about the race a little bit, because we had a one groove track here for many, many years. They put this progressive banking on. It's a little wider. It'll be a little narrower this time because it's safer barrier coming off 2 and 4. But as a race car driver, what's the strategy here? You survive to the last 100 laps, that kind of thing?
The strategy at Bristol's been the same since I started there, and that is somehow or another, being on the lead lap with all the fenders on your car, 350 laps in, you've got a shot at this race, because you've avoided all the crap, your car's still in good shape, and you've been at least fast enough to keep from getting lapped. I've been in that situation many times. The problem with Bristol, the race starts, you've got a car that's faster than the guy in front of you. That guy might have a car that's faster than the guy in front of him. You know what I mean? You might be 3 or 4 of you like that. But you're in a line, and you absolutely can't go anywhere. You know what I mean? If you've had a bad day at qualifying, and you've qualified 35th or 40th or 30th, you're stuck right there. The leaders are hauling the mail, man. They're going around the track, and they've done caught you. You know what I mean?
And you're saying to yourself, I got a good race car here.
Yourself,
if I could just get a little track position.
If I could just get a little track position and go, and that right there causes some accidents sometimes. When you see the lead pack catching up to the tail end of the pack, and you'll see, if you look up through there and you'll see 5 or 6 or 7 cars in line tight. Normally, somewhere in there, somebody's going to get bumped and something's going to go on. You know what I mean? Because somebody's getting anxious, not wanting to get lapped. He knows he's got a lead lap car. He knows he's got a car that can finish the top 5 or 10, but he can't go anywhere. And he's not going to get lapped. And that goes on all night long. You know what I mean? Till enough cars get down enough laps, you know, and then everybody starts giving. Because this guy that you're running 35th.
Once it gets sorted out a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you're running 35th, the guy in front of you is 34th. Your car is a bunch faster, but you can't get by him. But he's not going to give you a break. You know what I mean? Once you get by him, if you can get by him and go on, and then later on in the race he's a lap down or whatever, and when he sees you the next time, he's not going to hold you back because he knows that car there is a lot faster than me. You know what I mean? But you got to go do that with a whole field of cars, and all the cars are comparing, all the drivers are comparing themselves to one another. This whole part of this race. You know what I mean?
All right. Well, that has been your Rowdy.com Big Three for today, pre-Bristol edition for Rick Mast. I'm Bass Masters. And it's awful hot in here, so we're going to shut off the lights and go home.
It's ridiculous hot.
Rowdy.com. Say it like it is.
Say what like it is?
Rowdy.com.